Support for Radio Friends comes from La Brunerie Financial, where they work to ensure a lifetime of financial security for people from all walks of life, from investment services to retirement plans. If you're looking for a trustworthy company that has the experience and knowledge to put your interests first, contact La Brunerie Financial, a community-based investment counseling firm since 1966. Good morning. Welcome to Radio Friends on Monday, March the 15th. Suzanne Opperman is with us. We're going to talk about smart recovery. And this is something we have dealt with from time to time on Radio Friends. It's something that touch everybody's life at one point or another. Good morning, Suzanne.
Good morning.
Smart recovery, if there's somebody just tuning in and not aware of what it is, explain.
Smart recovery is a non-12-step, secular, so it's not based on any, religious preferences, and it's research or evidence-based approach to helping people with substance or activity addictions. And I don't like to use the word addiction because society has such a negative connotation. I use the word dependencies.
So you said substance or activity.
Uh-huh.
Now, what do you mean by activity?
People have issues with money spending. They can't control it. It's how they make themselves feel good. Gambling, internet, video games.
All of those fall under that addiction.
Eating disorders. A number of them are compulsive, and people don't think they can control them. There's also sexual dependencies where they have issues in that arena as well.
So the Smart Recovery Program covers all of this?
Mm-hmm.
How do you work with someone in the same way who is dealing with drug abuse as someone who is addicted to spending too much money?
It's all about how they think about themselves and the issue that they have decided they want to tackle that they have.
So you're dealing with both of those addictions in the same way?
Yes, it's a choice. People actually have a choice, they just don't realize it, to not do any of those dependencies or addictions. But they have to believe that it is something that they can do about. It is not a lifelong, condemnation to have these issues. It's not something that they can choose not to keep going down that same path.
What about somebody who, and I don't know if you would call this an addiction or not, who continuously thinks negative and talks negative?
It works for that too. It's called rational emotive behavioral therapy, and it was developed by Dr. Albert Ellis, a psychologist, back in the 70s. And his thought process was people think that they have their thoughts and their self-perception and their thoughts about the world, and that never changes. But that's not true. They can choose to not let bad things that have happened to them in their life continue to drive all their decisions and their view about themselves. That can change. It's a conscious thing. It has to be practiced. It uses change theory. So first people have to decide that they are looking into that they want to do something about the issues that they struggle with. So they go and see what all is out there, and there's a lot of different programs to help people. Then they have to look at what their urges are. What is it that trips their trigger to want to do that particular behavior, whether it's chemicals or activities? And that's the toughest part right there, is when they have an urge hit their brain, they can choose not to carry through with that negative activity.
When you're having these smart recovery sessions, are you doing them in a group session, or is it all one-on-one? Or is it virtual?
I do both, and it's all virtual at this point in time. The reason that this is to the forefront right now is the chemical dependency rates have skyrocketed during all of the isolation. People get bored. They don't know what to do with themselves. It seems easy that they could just keep doing whatever it is that they do to make themselves feel better. It's quick. It's easy. And so they, hopefully, at some point, they have to make the decision that they're done with doing all this and they're tired of living this kind of life with no money, no family, they completely break themselves.
So the person themselves have to make the decision that they want to change.
Yes.
You can't convince them that they need to change.
No.
No matter what you do,
yes.
you talk to them lovingly. You say, I care about you. I want to help you. None of that makes any difference.
That part does. What doesn't work is to throw the baby out with the bathwater. To say, okay, you have this issue, so get away from me, get out of my life. I will no longer have anything to do with you. That just makes their self-esteem even worse. So what family members and loved ones can do is to try to start to have positive dialogue with these people. And it's very simple stuff like, thank you for doing that for me. That was really nice. I feel uncomfortable when you have been doing your activity. So instead of feeling frustrated, I'm going to go to another room and read a book or watch a TV show. Not, darn you, you went back and you used that again. And negative.
Right. But what about using that tough love technique where you say, either you change this or I'm going to change this relationship. Does that work?
Only for the person who is feeling frustrated. It does not have the impact that people desire for it to have on the person with dependencies, because they are so self-absorbed and so focused on their need that it doesn't mean anything. So what we hope to do is teach families to use a positive approach instead of constantly demeaning and putting down the other person. And because these people have a lot of anger, because their loved one is doing all this stuff. And if you keep showering them with all your anger and your bad feelings, why are they going to want to do something, if all you're going to do is moan and complain at them?
Okay. If you want more information on this, it's called Smart Recovery. It's all virtual at this point, but how do they get information?
And your other question was, is that this is groups, but I also do this individually through my practice. It's smartrecovery.org, or you can get a hold of me for one-on-one support through my website, Suzanne'sMentalHealthWellness.com.
Okay, Suzanne, thank you so much for coming by.
You're welcome.
Thanks for the good work you do.
Thank you.
Okay, out of time for today. Bye-bye.